This is Ramon Ray. Welcome to the Rundown with Ramon. We have an amazing episode for you today, all about growing your business, boosting your business, scaling your business, and more. So I'm glad you're here today, because if you weren't here today, it'd be a very lonely show. It'd be just me, well, and the two guests that I have here right now, but I'm glad you're here today. So let's get with it. The Rundown with Ramon. Melissa and Corry, I hope you both are well. Melissa, how are things in your world today?
They are so good. They're so good. I'm coming from Athens, Georgia, and battling a little laryngitis. So just bear with me here as we do
I will bear with you. I think Zoom has an app where I can give you one of my Ricolas, I think, and I can slide it through the app somehow.
That's perfect. I'm equipped here.
You're like that. Corry, how are things in your world? How you doing?
I am great. I am coming from the coast of North Carolina today, and we are hot and humid, but we are super fantastic.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Corry, I'll turn first to you. Can you just help us understand you and Melissa? Who do you serve? Who are you today? I will briefly unpack the journey, but I want to get into the juicy tips. But just so people right off the bat, what's your website? Who do you serve? Who are you today? You and the duo of Melissa. Help us understand that, Corry.
The duo that we are found at thebusinessreboot.com, and you can find us on Instagram at Business Reboot. But we help people grow, scale, and pivot their businesses, especially female founders. We do coach a couple of fantastic fellas as well, so we have to give them a shout out. We were like, thank you for trusting us. You do know that we mostly coach women, right? And they were like, we don't care. We love you, and we need your help. We were like, sign us up. Let's go. But we are finding right now, and you said like right now, who are you? What are you doing? Who are you serving? We're finding that we are serving a ton of clients in their second season of life or later business starters. And so we have found that these seasoned and resilient women come to the table, the business table especially, as powerhouses. They're bringing, forward their former careers, their former skill sets, and they are really looking at either transforming their businesses or transforming their lives by starting a business. And so we dig into all of that. We unpack all of that with them, and we hold their hand along the way.
Love it. And by the way, Melissa and Corry, if I call your names out to answer something, feel free to say, feel free to add to that and point somebody else. But Melissa, I did have a follow-up for you. I mean, you're talking to Jenny. I just gave her a name. If she don't like the name, that's just too bad. Talking to Jenny, she retired, left, resigned from, and you can set up the scenario how you want, but she retired, resigned, wanted to do something different from X company that's big or small. She made some good money. Just, I'm just setting up a scenario. Why in the world does she want to start her own business? Why doesn't she just go volunteer at the Salvation Army, go sit in the pool all day? Like, she's 55. I don't know. Is she 45? Is she 60? Why would she want the heartache and the misery and the agony of entrepreneurship? Melissa, please do tell.
Because people don't know that there's heartache and misery when you get this glamorized view of what business looks like. And it's not until you're in it that you realize, oh crap, like I've signed myself up for a lifetime of personal development and heartache, but also the victories and the triumphs are absolutely worth it. And I think the women that we're serving, what we see is that they know what, especially when they're like over 40. And I have just cleared the cusp of 40 myself.
You know what?
Corry is
51.
And this is the reason. I'm just kidding.
No, Corry, jump in. What were you going to say, Corry?
Okay, you know what? She teases me all the time because I will be 49 this year, and she always claims that she is the younger sister of the duo. Sorry, go ahead.
But no,
I'm the older brother of the three. How about that? I'm 51.
Perfect. We'll take it. But what we see is that women at this point, they've served like crazy. They've excelled at what they've done up to this point, and they feel like they're made for more. Like there's got to be more. And I really do believe that the myth of retirement, at least in the way the world works today, is that nobody wants to just hang up their coat and be like, okay, well, I guess I just mosey around until I'm dead. And so they come to the table and say, we know that we can use the skills that we've got. We've always had this secret dream that we never actually pushed the gas on because we were too afraid to put the time in or the financial investment. And women at this place, at their second season of life, maybe their kids are in high school or they're graduated now and they're in college, or maybe they never had kids, but they've retired from one job. Say they were teachers and they retired from one job after 30 years, and they're going, we want to do what's next. They know what they want. They know what they won't put up with. They're willing to invest in themselves. And we just see a drive like we've never witnessed before. And so it's just like the perfect time to say, you know what, I'm going to do the thing that I've been waiting for, because I'm looking at the second half of my life now, and it looks shorter than it did when you were 20. And so they're just like ready to go for it. And we are here to motivate them like crazy.
I love it. I say, Melissa, to people, I'll be in 19 years, I'll be 70. So it sounds weird, but I'm like, yeah, it's a real thing. I mean,
Yeah, right.
so
It's coming.
I love this. I love this. And again, I won't say it again, but feel free, Corry and Melissa, feel free to redirect the conversation as you wish, even though I am going to probably just bounce back and forth and to protect Melissa's voice as well. Corry, curious, the ladies who you're working with, knowing that it's mainly men, what are some of the top level things you're doing with them? Corry, wrong question. I meant to say top level challenges they have. And again, feel free to reset my scenario, Corry or Melissa, but I'm making broad assumptions, but we can have other scenarios that maybe they're accomplished and know what they've done, very mature, been there, done that to some degree at the age of 40ish, right? They're no longer little kids. They've done something, they're a big girl now. So when you're coming to them and they want to start their franchise, their water bottle company, their lemonade stand, whatever it is, what are the things what's that like the first year, first 6 months, first 3 months? If you get what I'm trying to ask, help paint that picture for me.
100%. I think what we find is that a lot of women, even if they've been in business for a bit, let's say, sometimes they're brand new to business. But what we find is that they have a lot of really great skill sets, a lot of really great assets in their bag. Or like, let's imagine it as like a puzzle laid out on the table. They have some really great pieces to the puzzle, but they're missing just a few. And for some people, it might be the tech piece. For some people, it might be the confidence piece. For some people, it might be like, where do I even get started? For some people, it might be like, I've been doing this for a while and I need a reboot. Like I'm ready to pivot. I need to know how to shift. I've been working with this kind of client, or I've been serving in this kind of capacity, and I'm really to make a pivot. Or we've had a couple of clients recently that they're like, I'm ready to grow a team. I've gotten my business to this point and I need help getting it to the next. I need it to grow, and I'm going to have to bring people on board, and I don't even know where to start. So Corry, Melissa, you've been doing this for almost 3 decades with us combined. How do you bring in a VA? How do you hire contractors to come in and help you grow this thing? How do you hire employees? And so we help walk them through some of those processes. But it goes back to Melissa and I really are very firm believers in, to be a successful business owner, and I don't care what season you're in or what demographic you're in, mindset and strategy are the 2 things that you've got to get your head in the game, and you got to keep it in the game, but you also have to have really amazing strategies. And so we are finding, especially with these women who have, great education backgrounds or great career assets that they're bringing to the table, they might have a strategy or they might have the knowledge, but it's that mindset piece that you can do this. You're not too old, or, let some of the failures go from the past. Don't let them hang out in your mind now, because you're moving forward and you're doing a new venture. And so those are the things that we really find that we've been working with our clients, with a lot in the recent past.
Well, we even just finished a coaching call with one of our male clients who owns an electrician company. He's an electrician, and he has taken his company from the very first call that we had with him. It was, I'm a solopreneur, I'm trying to figure this out. One coaching call later, and he's booked his first 5-figure deal, and they keep coming over and over and over again. And we realized that thinking through things like we say, women may struggle with confidence. We're seeing it with our male clients just as much. It just manifests itself differently, where it may look like, they're too scared to make a move for a female. Well, it is literally an overanalyzation of the next step for our male clients. And so what we're able to do is utilize that mindset and strategy. That's like our magic formula. And Corry and I's like secret sauce is we can help people generate offers. Like it, I mean, it is a reflex at this point. You tell us what you do, we can tell you 15 different ways to make money with it. And so being able to walk them through these roadblocks that they have, when they realize that they've gotten so far, you can get so far with your cute little warm market that you start with, but when you have to start branching out and you have to start really doing things that are uncomfortable, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, what age you are, you need to get help to push the next point. And that's where we step in.
I love that. Can you unpack that? Feel free, Melissa, a little bit more, this aspect of offers and more. What does that mean? I mean, I know what the word means, of course, but meaning just unpack that a bit more. I feel there's something deeper there. And I like how you said it's agnostic of industry, but to help you launch, to help you, the not mindset, I think another word, but how men and women are, we're about the same, but just we show it the
Mm.
confidence. We
Yeah.
just show it differently. You're exactly right about that. Can you just take any one of those and just go 1 inch a little deeper?
Yeah. So for us, when we talk about generating offers, it's how are you going to make money? I think a lot of times people will start businesses or they'll be in business and they're doing something that's worked for a really long time until it doesn't. And so that was actually how the Business Reboot was born. We watched all these people because Corry and I's history is we were both creatives. So we laughed that like I started my first business at 8 selling seashell necklaces on the corner at like a neighbor's cul-de-sac. And Corry started a preschool when she was in Japan because her husband was stationed there prior to her starting her own company when she moved back to the States. And then we both launched into careers as photographers, which led to speaking and educating. And so we still own these companies today, but we've watched people creating businesses and then closing them when the pandemic hit because they were stationary. They had one thing that they did, and I'm not saying that you should diversify to the point where you're doing a lot of things okay and nothing really well. But if you get to a place where you're killing it and then it starts to stall out, the market changes. Like things change really, really fast. Even for us, we started as just a retreat. We were a retreat to begin with, and then we were like, you know what? The second one didn't sell, or the third one didn't sell. What do we do next? And we were like, let's start a mastermind. We had no idea if that would work, but we tapped into the people that we've been working with, and we sold out our first mastermind at $30,000 with 10 people. And so we did that, which was amazing. We tried to launch a retreat again. It didn't sell at all. We were like, what do people really want? Well, they want a coach. And so we took on coaching clients, rolled 6 figures real fast with that. And then guess what? We were able to go back to that offer that we originally had, which was retreats. And we just sold out a retreat. It's the first time we've ever done it. So it's like, we think that you don't just have to do things one way. There's always another creative way to help you make money. And as long as people realize that you never lose your ability to make money, your business can grow. It just might pivot. It might look a little different. But that's it. And you just have to get in the mindset of the what's next if this isn't working, because there's always a what's next.
I love Melissa. Are you go ahead, Corry. I was going to ask Melissa, are you hiring? Because I can dust well. I can rearrange the flowers behind you. Corry, I can vacuum the carpet. So
I got some mulch.
yeah, it's going to be quite a bit, but I can mulching. I can do. We can arrange that. Go ahead, Corry. Jump in.
Well, I was going to go another layer deeper too.
Please, let's go.
My husband served in the United States Marine Corps for 30 years. And so every time we moved, I had to be like a chameleon. And military spouses, I'm telling you right now, they are some of the most overeducated and underutilized people in our workforce right now. And because we're constantly having to reinvent ourselves. And so that's where Melissa and I talking about offers and what's that secret sauce, what's that specialty that you offer. It also is part of it is looking at your market. Where is there a hole your market? What are people asking for? And so I know that Melissa and I both, Melissa was very in tuned to the wedding industry, and she ran a whole professional organization for wedding professionals in Athens, Georgia, and got really, really great at watching how the industry trends were, because the wedding industry, the trends change very quickly. Some hold on for a lot longer, but Melissa got really attuned to watching the industry peaks and valleys and where the shifts were, and then how do you change the marketing? How do you work really well with building vendor relationships? And how do we all work together in this industry to, number one, serve our clients really well and to make sure they have a great experience, but then to also all elevate ourselves in the industry. And so then I got really good. Every time we moved somewhere, I was looking for a pocket in the market that I could serve with my unique skill set. And so I think all of those resilience pieces that Melissa and I have lived the lives to tell about, and the longevity of our businesses and age and seasonality, we really bring those skills to the table to help our clients then see how they can look at their market. What is your more market asking for? Where are there holes or gaps in your local market or beyond? Nobody's doing it like you could do it. What are some offers that you already have that we could just tweak a little bit? And now you have an entirely different or an additional arm of revenue that you could be flooding into your business. Like Melissa said, not diversifying to the point that you're not really serving anything well, but take the things that you really enjoy doing. Take the things that you're really good at and the people are asking for and run with it.
I love it. Are you business agnostic, Corry? Meaning, I heard electrical contractor, that could be an anomaly, could be regular, but can you help any business? If somebody comes to you with a cookie company, a, plastic water bottle company, electrical contractor, and then the typical, as we are, I don't say this in a pejorative way, but the online world of coaches, consultants, speakers, authors, personal brands, all the people, can you help all sectors of those people, Corry, or do you have a particular slant toward anyone?
I would say that we can serve most business owners.
Sure.
We are definitely very transparent. We're like, we've never done that before.
Sure.
So let us talk that through. We've told people, hey, listen, after an initial discovery call with us, we aren't sure that we're the best fit for you, because our number one priority is making sure that the businesses that we work with get a return on their investment. We want you to be successful because your success is our success. And at the end of the day, we care more about our clients and their success than what we are doing. And so while, yes, there are some businesses that we may be like, that's not in our skill set, and we're not going to say that it is, for the majority, we run the gamut with our clients. We have a lady who is in her 70s, and I'll give DJ a shout out here. She owns Plimsoll Gear. She has an apparel company that she has started in her 70s. I mean, like, it's wild. She is so successful, and we adore her. And then we have service providers that we work with. We have, our trusty friend who is an electrician and is just a gem. And then we work with other creatives. And so, yeah, we have a variety of clients that we serve.
We have realtors, and those are people that you can't change more offers for them. Like, we can't change the pricing structure that they're going to be compensated from the buying and selling of homes, but we can help them generate additional revenue by selling the knowledge that they have. So we work with a gamut of entrepreneurs, and I will say, just to kind of combat what Corry said, I don't know that there's somebody that we can't help, because the reason that we started the Reboot was because we started businesses before it was called the Facebook. Okay. Before social media was a thing, when you had to have a college that you were associated.
AOL, Prodigy, CompuServe, that's my world, baby. Bring it. Come on now.
Yes.
Look, you want to get really interesting results from your audience? Why don't you poll everybody and ask them what their AOL Messenger name was? Because that will be scary. I will never.
Who had MySpace? MySpace?
Right. That's right. And so we started businesses when, we started blogging in 2006, when it was myname.com/blogspot, and people like, my aunt and like the 7 fans that I had locally could get
Your mom.
Right. And then they would like read what we wrote. And so we just know that if you can, and our original premise for the Reboot was, if you can fall in love with the back end of how you're running your business, you will never get bored in how you serve. And so I really think that any business that comes to us and is like, hey, we need some semblance of refresher, we need a reboot, whether that be, working with employees via coaching them to help it. Like, we know that communication is huge. We know that profitability is huge. We know that just finding people's currency that are your employees is huge. And no business is one size fits all. I will die on that hill, because I think that when you're working with different personalities, whether it's your employees, or even if you've got a company that's got multiple shareholders that are running it together, like, you're always going to hit obstacles. And it just ends up being the same, whether it's a large scale company or a solopreneur, and they're like, fighting the current to try to be something. And so it's just really cool to get to have our hands in a bunch of different pots like that.
I love that. Let's jump through some tips, Melissa and Corry, and, really leave the audience, whether they work with you all or not, work with whoever or not, but what's some things they can do? And I'll turn to you first, Melissa. Well, actually, I'll turn to you first for something else, Melissa, but what are some things they can do? Some tips is my question. But Melissa, for you get the pleasure, so then you can rest your voice a bit, is remind us again who we're talking to, what's your website, who you serve, one more time. Because here's what Corry and Melissa, see what it is. At this point, people are like, who are these ladies Ramona speaking to? So guess what? They don't got to wait to the end. They don't got to look at show notes. They don't got to scroll the way forward. Like, right now, you're just going to hear what's the website and who they are. Melissa, take it away.
We are the Business Reboot, and you can find us on Instagram at Business Reboot, or on our website at thebusinessreboot.com, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. We have podcasts with about, we're closing in on 100 episodes. It's the Business Reboot podcast, and it's so good, so good. Tons of tips and tricks there.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Corry, talk to us. Give us some tips, insights that we can use to help grow our businesses. And you can put a scenario, fictional business there or not, but general, smaller business under 500,000 in sales. Somebody's talk to your ladies, right? Talk to your primarily, your ladies. They're coming just right from corporate America, just starting out. What are some things like, Ramon, here's the top 10, 5, 2, 3, whatever you want, things we say all the time. What do you say?
One of the things that we say all the time is that making business decisions or decisions in your business, it's a full body experience. Number one, before I get into explaining that, is hire yourself a coach. Whether it's us or somebody else, hire yourself a coach. Don't try and go it alone. If nothing else, for that moral support and that being able to ping off of somebody else who is a non-biased partner in your business, if you will. We always we're the board members that you don't have to manage whenever you bring us on board, and we care so much about your business. But looking at it, making decisions from a full body experience is, first of all, use your head when you're making business decisions. There is a lot of logic. A lot of times we talk about, going on feelings. And yes, there is a key part of feelings that's really important in business, but also use your head. That's where the logic lives. Make pros and cons lists. We tell our clients that all the time. Have you made a pros and cons list? Write it out on paper. And every time we say that to clients, they're like, okay, that's so simple, but so genius. Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I start there? We were like, well, that's what we're here to remind you of. So those logical decisions, keeping your head in the game and keeping that confidence going of do the dang thing, just make good decisions. The second part is trust your heart. Your heart is that thing where your passion lives, and don't always fan that flame too, because I think we have watched a lot of business owners get into business and they start to fall out of love with the thing that they're really good at, or the whole reason why they started this business. And so we talk about really guarding your heart when it comes to your business, and don't let it get hardened. Trust your why as to why you're doing this, and the heart for the people that you're serving in your business. And so that's really important. Thinking about your gut, that's where your intuition lives. Trust your gut, tap into it. And a lot of times we'll ask our clients, what do you want? It's that simple.
They never know.
They don't know.
If you think about, that's the hardest question that you can ask somebody, because they go, well, they can tell you a thing, but they can't tell you why they want it. They I want to be debt free. Okay, well, what's that going to get you? Cool. Okay, well, so were we here to accumulate stuff? Or are you looking for impact? And that is the hardest question.
And we find that over and over again. And what we've noticed too in the course of coaching with clients over months or years is that sometimes that what do you want changes, and then that changes how they're growing their business, how they're spending time in their business. And so that's another tip, is go get into that intuition, get into that gut feeling of what it is that you want this business to do. Why are you doing this? And then we also talk about your hands and feet. What are the things that you want to do day in and day out in your business? The things that you don't want to do, well, then outsource that, because that actually can feed into somebody else's business. That can hire somebody else to do the thing that you don't enjoy or that you're not really good at. So look at ways to outsource. Look at ways that you can add in more things diversify your offers a little more. And then your feet, where are they taking you? Where are your feet taking you? What are the opportunities that when the opportunity knocks on the door, what doors are your feet walking through? What rooms are you finding yourselves in? That's really important. And so those are some of the key tips that we always go with in that direction with our clients, of making sure that you're not just over analyzing one part of your business and not tapping into some of the other things that we've just discussed.
Yeah. And just to go back to the coaching aspect, when we talk about getting coached, don't ever trust a coach that doesn't have a coach. I'm just gonna be real honest with you. Our coach is our lifeline. And we did business without her for a minute, and that was just 1 minute. But we saw for a while, and I think we've repositioned ourselves a little bit, so we're not calling in as many clients like this anymore. But we saw an influx at the beginning of women specifically, and it absolutely happens to our male clients. It just looks different, takes a few more times for us to have conversations before they talk to us about it. But we would see women say, yeah, I've got this business and my husband doesn't really love it. He's just like frustrated with it, just thinks it's a time suck. I don't feel really supported. So I need to get help outside of that. This is why I personally believe your spouse, your partner, and Corey and I are really lucky. Our husbands are like the ones who will be like, I'm going to wind you up and you just go, like whatever you need us to do, we're here to do. And we know that that's not everybody's situation. But we would watch so many women come to us and they would say, my husband just doesn't support this. And when we looked at it and we listened to how they talk about their business, we listened to the defeat that they're sitting in because there's nobody else for them to bounce ideas off of and have the conversations with, to help ideate with and work through, like, trying to figure out solutions on their own. That why would your spouse, if they love you the way that they say they love you, why would they love a business that is beating you up so bad? Like, this business treats you like crap. And if they love you, why would they love it? And so we think it's really important to, keep your family looped into what you're doing. But we will let, and this is a hot button sentence, especially for any women out there who are mothers, we will let the reason that we do this business also be the excuse for why we won't do it. Whether it's, having, I've got my family, my kids are like, things are coming up. And so I can't do the thing that I'm supposed to be doing, or, this is going on, it's really hard. And we understand life circumstances can be difficult. I mean, like, we could tell you our stories and you would be like, holy moly, how are y'all normal? But also we just think it's really valuable to have somebody that's going to be able to relieve your family of that pressure, relieve your close friends of the pressure of having to sit in that heavy with you all the time, because we as business owners do not realize that we will become burdensome to the people that we care about the most, because business is much more than just business. It becomes so personal. And, we laugh that we are the Kathleen Kelly of business coaching, because to us, it is personal and we will take it to the mattresses, but it's got to count for something. And so we just think it's really important that whether you're just starting out or you've been in business 10 years, or you're looking to grow, scale, and pivot, like, find a coach that makes you feel like home, that you can trust, that will direct you. And honestly, like, that's where we shine, is that when you're asleep, we're up. Corey's getting hot flashes and I've got heartburn, and we're thinking about your business at 2 a.m.
2
And
a.m.
that's
Best idea is
I
2
love
a.m.
it.
That's what happened. That's what happened.
That's very true. Hey, listen, I love this. I love this. Corey and Melissa, anything I didn't ask you that you wanted to share? We could go on for a long time. The purpose of my podcast is really to whet the appetite, leave some seasoning and salt or tips with people so they can go on their journey and find amazing resources on their own. But anything I didn't ask you that you wanted to mention, feel free. We can go another 6 hours if you want, no problem. But anything, Corey, I'll turn to you first that you didn't get a chance to say or you thought was important to share with the Rundown with Remote audience.
Absolutely. We do something that is, we work really a lot with our clients about design thinking. And I used design thinking in the classroom years ago when I was a classroom teacher. And so we've really brought it into business, because it has made a resurgence in the business world. And I'm like, hey, I know that. And so we use that a lot with our clients. We actually did an entire podcast series last summer talking about bite-sized pieces. We did a podcast series in the summer, because we all know in the summer, we're all busy and we just need a little bite of something, a little taste of something to get us through the busy season of summer. And we talked about how design thinking can really be impactful to your business. And a lot of times I think people will create these offers or create these things, going back to the offers we were talking about. And one more last tip is to beta test things. And we walk through what all of that looks like in our podcast series from last year. We actually did a replay over the holidays, because we got so much great feedback on it. But talking about like beta testing things and ideating, Melissa mentioned ideating earlier. That's something that we work through with our clients as well. And I think every business owner will be really smart to beta test. We see that in soft openings with restaurants. We see that with new menu items that they're going to put out, or we just had a restaurant open in our hometown earlier this week, and they did a soft launch. And I'm like, I love that you are beta testing these kinds of things. And so we work through that with clients as well, of let's test this out before you launch it hard and then are like, oh wait, why didn't that work? We are definitely helping clients ideate ideas, come up with things. Let's beta test them, and then let's try them out, and then let's go back to the drawing board. What worked? What didn't work? What was the feedback feedback, and then let's tweak it, and then let's put it out in the world again, whether it's a service or a product. We have found great success in helping clients work through those things. And the podcast really has a lot of great quick tips.
Love it. I'm a firm believer in testing and trying out too. Absolutely. I mean, very firm believer in it. So I think it's the best way to do it. Start small and then grow from there. Melissa, what else did you want to add, if anything, to add or say or share before we conclude?
Yeah, I think it is just to make sure that you are not giving up on something that could be really, really helpful and useful to people around you. I think that we forget that we get in business because we love the thing, and we end up getting kind of blinded by the money or the lack of money, or we get blinded by circumstances, and we'll forget that our experiences are our superpower. That's what we say all the time. And resilience builds character. And so, if you can just, we both for the longest time hated the old adage that like the only people that succeed are the ones who haven't given up yet. But it really is true. And just, I think that if somebody asked me, and the reason I started coaching that led to Corry and I coaching together was somebody asked me, she said, if you could do anything, what would it be? And I said, I would just want to pour into women and remind them that the dreams that they have and the things that they want to do are worthy of chasing. And I say that to women and men. We will sell ourselves so short because we think that our 9-to-5s are going to make us comfortable. We think that showing up in ways that are safe are going to make us comfortable. But in case we've all been asleep, like the pandemic kind of flipped the script on that, and things that were steady and comfortable and secure no longer were. And so if there's ever been a time for you to test the waters and see if you can do that, it's now. And it's just not, you have too much at stake to give up on those dreams because you just don't know where they can go.
I love that. Corry, I'll give you the pleasure of one more time repeating the website. And I love that. Don't give up on those dreams. I love it, Melissa. Website, who you are, who y'all peoples are. Feel free one more time. Let us know, please.
Absolutely. So we are the Business Reboot, and you can find us at thebusinessreboot.com. We are Corry and Melissa, your business besties, and come for a lot of laughs, and a lot of fun, and a lot of growth.
I love it. I love it. Indeed. Everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. This is The Rundown with Ramon. Get to know me better at zoneofgenius.com and find other amazing, amazing people like Melissa and Corry. And thank you all for being here today. And again, feel free to check us out at zoneofgenius.com for this, another insight to help you grow your business.